Hello everyone, it's Helena. Today's video is a time-lapse of a pop surrealistic painting called The Sleeping Rose, where I also briefly share my process. It's what I call an alive flower painting, and the concept is rest and rejuvenation. We all need deep rest, a withdrawal, and spending time with only ourselves in order to bloom like a rose. So the first layer here is just a basic color placement. The reason why I don't do underpainting is that I'm lazy and a very fast-paced, quite impatient individual, so I usually like to have the first colors kind of decided. I think that the character of the individual artist plays a huge role in how they do their work. Some like to take time with their painting, and some, like me, prefer to get it done as quickly as they can. Some artists have everything prepared and perfected in the first layers. I prefer making mistakes and refine and correct them as I process with the painting. So the first layer is nothing detailed, just putting paint on the canvas and preparing for the more serious second layer. The first layer always looks a bit ugly as well. I am now painting the second layer. As you can see, my focus is more on details, but not too many details just yet. The second layer goal is to make it look like a functioning face, make everything connect and have it like a base for the third layer. I like to be quite organized in my layering process. I always try and push myself or challenge myself with each painting by trying something new. This time I wanted to give her skin various colors, so I'm painting in greens, blues, yellows and pinks. I was always looking with awe at portrait artists which had all these amazing colors included in their subject's skin, and it just looked right. I was always wondering how they just know where to put each color, and then I realized it's all about perception. Sometimes, when I look at the reference, I can see a slightly cool shade of blue on her skin, and I just paint it in. When I look for the second time, I see green. When another person looks at it, they might not even see any color and perceive it as a white light. Also, green and blue have similar wavelengths, so it's very easy to see them as both green and blue at the same time. Remember people arguing whether it's blue or green. And if you have your values right, which is what color should be all about, then you have this free space to play around with all these different colors, and it will look right as long as you have, again, your values placed correctly. I love that every artist works with color differently, as it makes their personal style. When the second layer is finished, it gives me relief as it doesn't look so ugly anymore, but there's still a ton of work to be done. Now, in the third layer, my goal is to refine the second layer and build up on it. I don't have to cover all the canvas with paint as I did in the first two layers. Now I am just adding and correcting. The surface you paint on changes the game quite a bit. This painting is done on white linen canvas, which I personally love as it absorbs the paint well and lets you refine a layer quite a lot, as opposed to a wooden canvas, for example, which requires to do more layering as the oil paint doesn't bind to the smooth surface as good as it binds on the linen or cotton one. White linen canvas is also smoother than the cotton, so that's why I really like it, but I also paint on wooden canvases or gesso painting panels. It's always advisable to try everything so you can test it out and see what works for you. I also added butterflies as I felt that the big rose was a bit lonely and they definitely brightened the whole space. Sometimes I also add things to the paintings as I go. I have a general idea planned before, but sometimes I look at it and see something is missing or there's too much of something, etc. It's good to kind of look at the painting as you go and see any imperfections or things you would like to change. I always paint half improvised paintings as I don't really like having everything decided at the beginning. Sometimes even the colors you choose before for your piece don't turn up as you imagined or just are a bit off, so it's good to change and test things out as you go. I have always been intimidated by painting roses, and I absolutely don't know why. As I started including them into my pieces, I enjoy them so much and they are not that hard. So I encourage you to always go out of your comfort zone and try to paint or draw something new, or challenge yourself just a little bit each artwork you make. If, however, the challenge you inflicted upon yourself is too big, you will get overwhelmed and it will throw you off. If you choose only a little challenge each artwork, like painting flowers or painting a hand which you don't usually paint, you will see how you enjoy it and gain more painting skills at the same time. Now it's more or less about the details, which is my favorite part. I like to go a little crazy on the facial details. I have learned to build up each layer gradually so I can add the tiniest details at the end, like lashes, highlights, etc. I also added freckles and I think it made a huge difference. I had a comment when I shared a snippet of this painting on Instagram that those freckles warm her up, which I agree. Details like this always matter so much. So I will let you enjoy the rest of the process without me talking. If you liked it, please give me a like or a comment and subscribe for more art. This piece is going to be part of a collection of paintings for the Inverarity Gallery. For reserves and inquiries, please message the gallery. The link is down below. Thank you and see you next time!